Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I wanted to follow in the footsteps of a previous video I did on the World of Vaggurum, and I wanted to showcase a little bit of one of my oldest builds within the World of Vaggurum, being Drakenhof's Castle. I wanted to just talk about it for, 10-20 minutes and give it a little showcase and actually show you guys around a bit from the perspective of, playing this game in survival or something. So, one of the things I wanted to note is how many buildings there are in this city, because it is a city. Now, while they are not compact, there is a lot, right? I think, if I remember correctly, I think there's 78 buildings. And every single building is a copy of one another, but they're not direct copies, right? So if we come up here, like, you can see that this is a very old style of building here. I would consider this like a very old style of my building skill set, with like these type of Minecraft shelves and stuff like that. And I'll show you how that has matured over the time spent here in Minecraft. But with these buildings, the way I did this build, and mind you, this was a very long time ago now, is I started off with 8 buildings, and then I tried to give them a little bit of variation, whether it be from color, or style, or size even. You can see that this building's quite small, but this building's like a double of this. That is kind of what I went for. So I had 4 of the small buildings, 4 of the large buildings, and then I did color variation. Very happy with the paths as well. I think that the paths really add a really nice touch to the building style. Something else I did, as we pick up the pace here, was build an inn and also build like one of these buildings to where they are a little bit better. And you can hear some water under us. I might show that later. But one of the buildings is actually fully done, fully developed, fully realized into my current building style, which is going to be here. I am missing some lanterns because I did do some mod uninstalling. So I'm missing supplementaries here. So if I go ahead and update this block, you can see that the light goes. That's because I was messing around with mods and it messed back. But if we look through, we have a little toilet, little bathroom area here, just a little kitchen, some bookshelves. We come upstairs. You can see that there's a fully furnished bedroom, which I'm actually quite happy about. There's supposed to be an armor stand here, but I did delete them for lag issues. But yeah, I have been building on this world since 2019. Now, I haven't been building on this world specifically since 2019. I always need to clarify that, because it's just the castle that has been moved over, and you'll see the castle later. We have an inn here. I'm not going to show you the upstairs because it's very bad, but I will show you the basement because it does lead to the sewer system, which I'll show you a little glance at. We have some old year dates. I'm still working on what kind of year this is. But yeah, we just have some meadery stuffs, which I went and named those, and we have a little piston here. Little hidden in within the inn type deal. I always love doing stuff like this. If we go ahead and click that. In within an inn. This is also an older building style of mine. I don't usually work with those shelves anymore, but if we come out through here, I think it's right here. Yeah. There's a lot of mods going on, and I have a hard time remembering all of it. We have our sewer system, which leads to another inn, which I'm not going to show you right now, because we have a lot of stuff to show, and I don't want to waste too much of your time. But yeah, the main castle of this place was built in 2019 in survival, which was a long time ago, right? Like, 2019 was not yesterday. It's almost 5 years ago, I think. I think I might be delayed. No, I'm good. And I think I've been working on this world since 2021 or 2022. Like, this world specifically. And I'll tell you one thing. Building on the same world for that amount of time is a task and a half, right? It is a task and a half. Here we have our gate design here. I am a big fan of the gatehouse design, even though this isn't a gatehouse. This is a terrible gate system because it allows, once people get in your gates, they can get in your walls. If this was all barricaded and then there was an actual gatehouse where it's actually separated by 4 towers, that would have been better, but I'm nitpicking. Here's my wall design. I have the, I think these are called machiculations, where there are our, like, little look-down sites. This is an older design of mine, but I still like the way it looks, even though it's, like, technically how are these Merlons supported? Don't really know. And there's some other problems with numbers and stuff. But otherwise, other than that, I think the gates look great, and just to look down the line here and seeing those towers stand out with the flags is a really nice look. Heading back into the city, something I do want to point out, I'm going to give credit to where credit is due. Number one, anytime you see a tree in my world, it's a tree that I have not built unless I say otherwise. I think there's 3 trees in total that I have built in this world, and this isn't one of them. I took this, and I say took, I did pay for it. World access I paid for. This tree specifically, if I remember, I think this is from Trixie Blocks, one of his worlds. He's always built really, really wonderful trees, and this is just a little garden, right? And if we go ahead and turn off our night vision, you can see it in its glory, which is nighttime, right? Look at that. Incredible. And we're also using like a bunch of mods, but one of the mods I should mention, because you can hear it right now, is dynamic surroundings. And we'll leave night vision off so we can actually look at the game. Speaking about credit, so we cut across these amount of houses. I'm not going to go in every house because that would be too long, and they're literally all the same anyway. I'll show you this one. Listen, my treat. My oldest design, where we've had so many problems because this is supposed to be like this. But this is the other, like the longer version of the house, right? And I actually had a design where, in the past, this would actually go down to an actual sewer system and be connected at one point. But if you just head upstairs, it's incredibly basic. It's a very old design of mine. And there's not a ton to write home about. I still think it's nice. I just, you know, there's barrier blocks here to keep the thing up. It's just like, it's not my most incredible design that's worth showing, right? But as I was saying, giving credit where credit is due, this is based off a build that I found on Reddit called the Gray Cathedral build. This is what it's based off, and I'll go ahead and show you what it actually looks like, because the only way you can really appreciate it is by looking it up from the sky. Now, I have done a lot of modifications and added to it, adding an interior, and also I have a little bit of symbolism in it, being that all the colors of the glass is all the allied factions under this given religion, right? So I think there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 being the Drakenhoffs, which are the leaders of the not only the continent but also the religion. And here it's very moody. I never look at this place when it's in full darkness, but we have rows of seats, and then we have our altar up here, and then we have some side seats for choir or whatever, and then a big coffin up there. And this is built with chisel and bits. And this is a fully interiored build. This build is actually fully complete, which is rare. Very rare. If we head out through this gate, You can see a wall of text that actually doesn't say anything. And then we have some crosses, which is like, you know, some kind of past war type thing. That's kind of what I was going for. If we head out to the other side, you can also see that we have a really nice garden. This is all modded in because I am on 1.16. Wait, I think that's a mod, right? Yeah, it's the Caves and Cliffs mod with nap textures. But yeah, I added just some little garden stuff, so a little bit of water, get a little bit of color in here. I definitely think I could use a little bit more red here. But I did want to tone it down when I was building it to kind of like give it a little bit of a more solemn feeling. And also, I should mention how much I love this transition for fences. I think that's amazing. You'll notice that there is far too many lantern posts or light posts. I probably should fix that, but I'm probably not going to because I'm too lazy. And also, these lanterns aren't everywhere. But yeah, if we go ahead and we actually go up a little bit before we go into our main event here, we have some forest here to take up some of the dead space, so we are not building too many buildings. And you can kind of see the sprawl here of the city. And you can see the flags that are all in sync. There's not any weirdness happening, but they are all the exact same flag. And if we come to the east entrance, because this is the east, you can see our wheat fields, which are the main food supply for Dreckenhof. Which, by the way, I've always loved looking at a huge field like this, especially with windmills and stuff in it. It's always a really nice look. If you wanted to see what these look like, I'll go ahead and give you a little look. It's just like it's nothing fancy, you know. It's just trying to illustrate that this is how grain is grinded, right? Because windmills weren't like they were used for grinding down wheat, right? But if we head back, let's actually get to the main event and are arguably going to be the longest part of this build. Showcase, I guess it's a showcase. So we come out through the front gates here, and this is an inner bailey. I think that's what you would call it, because it's a wall within a wall, because all this area is walled off, but I have another wall here. I just wanted this to feel extra protected, extra safe. We come in immediately, once again, credits. These tents were not designed by me. They were designed by Trixie Blocks. As rare as it is for me to carbon copy someone else's build, there are certain things that I really suck at building. Tents, I'm terrible at, and trees. And mind you, that was inspired. But if we come in through, I'll go ahead to the left first. We just have a very basic little, I would consider it a war camp or a training camp, where you have areas for guards to hone their steel, duel one another, or archers to shoot and train, you know, and stuff for tournaments and stuff, just small stuff. If we come over to the right side, something that I was very pleased to come up with the idea, mind you, I'm not the first one. People actually did this back in the medieval times, but having a little like tournament area for jousting and stuff like that, that was a really cool thing that I thought about, and I think I have added it quite well. And also, I will point out, you can see that there's only 2 chairs here and they don't have any blue on it, and this one does over there. That's because that's the king's seat. But yeah, I'm very pleased about how all this seating arrangement's turned out, even now, this being one of my older builds. In fact, these are the oldest ones. I'm pretty sure I've only updated it in like maybe early 2020. But yeah, a little jousting arena. It might be a little bit too big, but that's fine. And we also have these beautiful banners hanging out. I don't think this was inspired. It might have been, but I genuinely can't remember. But we have our actual castle, which I should note is inspired by Honor Guard. If you know what that is, it's from Shadowversity. I saw a video a while ago about the perfect castle, which inspired me to build this, and this was in fact built in survival. We have our Merlons there sticking out, and we also have our Matriculations as well. And we have our towers, which also act as staircases. Don't mind that. That is my little notebook board to where I am deciding new builds. We have a nice little roof there. So let's just go ahead and go in, because this is going to be the longest part. We have our entrance room. This is obviously the most important room in terms of defense, because this is where an attacking army would come from. You can shoot down through here, and I also have like some lava stuff here, which, mind you, doesn't really make sense, so I'm just using the lava to imitate like boiling sand or oil, if you will. We come inside, we just have our kind of grand entrance, very opened, but also not as open as it actually is, because if we look through the walls, you can see there's a little bit more room there. But I actually tapered it in to give it this look, and I think, honestly, I think I'm very happy with it. We have our grand hall being our main eating area. We just have a little altar there, and then we have where the lords, ladies, and kings sit, right? The main three. We come out through, we'll head to the left first. We have a little alchemist room, which has been built quite recently. Just nothing crazy, but something fun. You know, we actually have a little exhaust area as well, and a bunch of bottles for alchemy type stuffs. We come over here, we have another grand entrance, and we also have some staircases, which, by the way, these are the towers. We come into the main area, I would say, which is the throne room. Now, as someone who is really trying to think of a defense, obviously having windows in your throne room is kind of dumb, because that is you basically just like make the whole castle redundant. But there is a little bit of give and take here with like just visual stuff, so I think it makes sense. And I'm also pretty sure, or I'm not entirely sure if this goes all the way to the bottom. Let's see. This might go to the unfinished kitchen. It does go to the unfinished kitchen. In truth, this area was causing too much lag, so I decided to get rid of all the stuff I had there. But it still has this like really big, what would you call this? Campfire or oven, I guess would be what you call it. But yeah, that is the throne room. This is all chisel and bits here. We can see that on the left, we have our little, just like a little small church area, just on the off chance that you're stuck in your keep, but you still need to, you know, have mass and stuff like that. I think that's something that I've seen a lot in types of castle designs and stuff like that, and I think it makes sense. Even though this is a very old design for my chairs, you can kind of see the age here. If we go to the right, you can see that this is just leads to a staircase. And we also have the inner portcullis as well, which I'm quite fancy of. If you're noticing that there is weird lighting stuff when there's no torches, that's due to a mod that I had uninstalled. Now, we come to the bottom floor now. We're actually at ground level, at grass level right now. We have a little portal room protected by a double portcullis and then two more portcullises with these tower entrances blocked off, as this is a weak point, and I kind of wanted to shore that up. In here on the white carpet, this is considered the servants' quarters or the guest quarters. We have a little storage area. We have a bedroom, nicely furnished, quite new. We have another bedroom with some better furnishings. And then we have another bedroom, which even more furnishings. I'm noticing that I'm missing some paintings that are supposed to be there. I believe these beds were also inspired by Trixie blocks, but I didn't copy them. 1-to-1, I mean. We have a little portcullis here, and then a door. And we also have some traps here. There's actually string, and these are poison dart traps. I'm just going to fly over it because it's quite annoying anytime that happens. We have our prison gates, which are supposed to lock people out from valuable items like, you know, dragon eggs. As it were, you know, just having dragon eggs. This is a wealthy kingdom, right? We come down to the bottom floor now, which isn't the very bottom, but there's definitely the first basement. We come into one of the more desired rooms, which is the treasury, right? And as someone who loves looking at stuff like this, this is really nice. We have some diamonds, we have a lot of swords, we have gold, silver, platinum, dragon skulls, the works. In here we have the same thing, but more. Cyclops heads, gold out the ears, diamonds. You gotta remember, this is a king. This is a kingdom that has been here for a good 1,000 years. And, you know, they are quite wealthy. We come into the very bottom now, which is the library. I like to call this the Forbidden Library because if we come into one of these book areas, and we go ahead and right-click this, we have a Book of Screams, which is, you know, a book you open and it starts screaming at you, which I thought was quite funny. And I have some other books that have a similar type of thought process. Coming down to the bottom, you can kind of get an appreciation of how this is built. You can see the ground supports there, which is one thing I quite enjoy adding to get up to a little bit of the immersion level and kind of just give that feeling of, oh shit, we are really underground and this is how it's being held up. And we have some places for study, and I think these tables are just very basic, but not needing to be anything more. Ooh, we also have, I think these are books that I AI generated. They are books that I AI generated for the new bookshelves that Minecraft added in 1.20, which I'm not going to update to, I don't think. And we have our also main support there, which also acts as a staircase. Let's head up to the top. Back on the main floor, we're just going to go ahead and head up to the to a floor above it where we saw that like little overhead thing. We have a double portcullis here. You can see I have a habit of doing that. We have the old alchemy room, which I should note I had shredded because I wanted to build something else in this room and then decided to do nothing with it. Classic me. We have our our guard room basically. And then we have our war room. No castle can go without a war room that is as big as this. And in my first version of this in Minecraft, I actually made this the map room, and it was a huge fucking map. Super cool. If we come over here, it is just a staircase that goes up to the outside, and over here we also have the armory, because of course. Now we also have one more floor, which leads to the outside, but the one I am more specific about is actually the king's quarters, because, you know, you gotta have a quarters for your king, and kingly quarters it must be, as this is a fully furnished, fully realized, the tippity top of my interior design has been flexed here. And as you can see, we have treats, we have chairs, we have pictures of my world, right? These are all pictures from my world. That's a ship that I made. I think I stole the sails off of somebody and just edited a little bit. A nice grand bed. We have some bookshelves there, some more pictures, and we have the beautiful views of Drakenhof. And once Dynamic Surroundings gets into a better version to where I can actually run it with all these mods, man, oh man, is this going to be such a view. I cannot wait. We have a little study here as well. You know, some leftover cookies, some scrolls, you know, kingly business. But if we go ahead and head up to the final area, being the roof and the outside of that, you can see that we have a massive trebuchet for defense with some stone and granite or diorite as ammo. And we just have this here for when, you know, we need it. For when we need it. And we also have like all our towers are working as expected. And if we go down here, and I will show you to the extent of how specific I was about this. So this tower here connects down to the throne room, and it also connects here. And this was actually, I had to be very specific about how this was built because of the way this was originally built. It wasn't intended to be designed with this little hole in the wall because it was only supposed to come in through the top and bottom. And if we just go ahead and have one more look on the outside of Castle Drakenhof. Beautiful castle, very pleased about the design. There's so many iterations of this. I think I have 4 iterations of this castle in 4 different stages of its lifespan, but this is where it is right now. This is Castle Drakenhof. If I go ahead and open up the map, you can see that Castle Drakenhof owns all this shit, and they're allies with Jesus, all this. That's the length of their alliance. Now I consider them owners of the continent because these guys over here are isolationists, which just specifically means that they don't really try to influence the area. So, you know, they just own this, and this is a work in progress build because that was redesigned. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be everything with Castle Drakenhof. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and until next time, have a good one.